Welcome. Tonight, allow your thoughts to slow as we travel back more than 4,000 years to one of the world's oldest civilizations. Take a slow breath. Imagine that the modern world has quietly disappeared. There are no cities glowing in the distance, no engines, no electricity, and no clocks counting the passing hours. Instead, you awaken on a cool morning beside the gentle waters of the Nile River. The first light of dawn begins to paint the eastern horizon in soft shades of gold and pale orange. A light mist rises from the water, drifting slowly across the reeds. The air feels surprisingly cool, but you already know the warmth of the desert sun will soon arrive. You sit up from a simple woven reed mat inside a small mud brick home. The walls around you are rough but sturdy, built from clay gathered along the riverbank. Outside, life is already beginning. You hear birds calling across the wetlands. Somewhere nearby, fishermen quietly prepare their wooden boats. A donkey brays in the distance. Children laugh softly while carrying empty clay jars toward the river. The smell of damp earth mixes with fresh reeds and the faint smoke from cooking fires that have just been lit. For a brief moment, the world feels peaceful. But beneath this quiet beauty lies a difficult truth. Every single day here is a struggle for survival. Food must be grown. Water must be collected. Homes must constantly be repaired. The powerful Nile gives life, but it can also take it away. As the golden sunlight slowly reaches your doorway, your journey through ancient Egypt quietly begins. Before you can understand the people around you, you must first understand the land itself. Looking around, something quickly becomes clear. Green life exists only in a narrow ribbon beside the Nile. Beyond it, the landscape suddenly changes. Endless deserts stretch toward the horizon in every direction. Golden sand meets distant rocky hills beneath a cloudless blue sky. To the west lies the vast Sahara Desert. To the east rise rugged mountains leading toward the Red Sea. For hundreds of kilometers, almost nothing grows naturally. Rain is incredibly rare. Many people living here may never see a heavy rainfall during their entire lives. Without the Nile, this land would simply be empty desert. The river acts like a long ribbon of life flowing through an otherwise unforgiving landscape. Every village, every farm, every temple, every city exists because of this single river. Travel is easiest by boat. Goods move slowly along the water. Families depend on its steady flow. The Nile is not simply part of life. It is life itself. As you continue looking across the endless desert, you begin to understand something very important. Nature decides everything here. The people cannot control it. They can only learn to live beside it. As the morning grows brighter, villagers begin walking toward the river. Some carry baskets. Others carry fishing nets. A few balance large clay jars upon their shoulders. Everyone seems to be moving toward the same destination. The Nile. It provides drinking water. It waters the crops. It feeds the livestock. It carries travelers from village to village. It supplies fish for dinner. Even the rich black soil beneath your feet arrived here because of the river's yearly floods. Long before modern engineering, the Nile performed nature's greatest miracle. Every year, waters rose slowly and spread across nearby fields. When the floodwaters finally retreated, they left behind fresh layers of fertile soil. This natural gift allowed wheat, barley, vegetables, and fruit trees to grow in a land otherwise surrounded by desert. Without these floods, there would be no harvest. Without harvest, there would be hunger. Without food, entire communities could disappear. Every Egyptian family watches the river carefully. If the flood arrives at the right time, there is hope. If it is too weak, crops fail. If it is too strong, homes can be destroyed. The Nile is both generous and unpredictable. It gives life with one season and reminds everyone of their vulnerability with the next. Standing quietly beside its flowing waters, you realize something that every ancient Egyptian understood from childhood. No king, no soldier, not even the pharaoh himself. could command the river. Its rhythm belonged only to nature, and every life in Egypt followed its gentle but powerful flow. As the morning sun climbs higher above the eastern horizon, the village slowly comes alive. People begin walking toward the fields, carrying simple wooden tools worn smooth by years of use. Children follow behind their parents, eager to help in whatever small ways they can. Even the animals seem to understand that another busy day has begun. If you had arrived from the modern world, you might expect people to measure time with calendars or clocks. But in ancient Egypt, life follows a different rhythm. Everything depends upon the Nile. The river is more than water flowing through the land. It is a natural clock, quietly marking the passing of each year. The ancient Egyptians divided their lives into 3 great farming seasons. Each season brought different hopes, different challenges, and different work. The first season was known as the season of the flood. Far away to the south, seasonal rains filled distant rivers until the mighty Nile slowly began to rise. Day by day, the water spread across the surrounding fields. At first, the flood seemed almost magical. Fields disappeared beneath calm, shimmering water. Trees stood quietly with their reflections stretching across the surface. Boats floated where crops had once grown. Although farming stopped during these weeks, nobody considered the flood an enemy. Instead, families watched patiently. They understood that the river was preparing the land for another year of life. When the floodwaters finally began to retreat, they revealed something extraordinary. A fresh layer of dark, rich soil covered the earth. Soft beneath your feet, this fertile mud carried tiny minerals from lands hundreds of miles away. Without it, almost nothing could grow. Soon came the second season. This was the season of planting. Entire families worked together from sunrise until sunset. Wooden plows pulled by oxen slowly carved long lines into the soft ground. Men scattered seeds by hand with practiced movements. Women carefully gathered vegetables and prepared food for the workers. Children chased away hungry birds hoping to steal freshly planted grain. Every handful of seed carried hope for the months ahead. There were no powerful machines, no tractors, no engines humming across the fields. Only patient hands, simple tools, and countless hours of hard work beneath the warm Egyptian sun. Then, many months later, the final season quietly arrived. The season of harvest. Golden fields stretched toward the horizon like waves of sunlight. Workers moved carefully through the crops using curved bronze sickles. Bundles of wheat and barley were tied together and loaded onto donkeys or small wooden carts. Laughter sometimes filled the fields. A successful harvest meant full storage rooms, fresh bread, and another year of survival. But not every year brought abundance. If the Nile flooded too little, the soil became dry. If it flooded too much, entire villages could suffer terrible losses. Every harvest depended upon nature's delicate balance. Standing quietly beside these endless fields, you begin to understand a simple truth. In ancient Egypt, people did not control the land. They worked with it. They waited for it. They respected it. And above all, they trusted the Nile to return once again, just as it had for countless generations before them. As a warm breeze gently moves across the ripening fields, the quiet rhythm of ancient Egypt continues, one season flowing peacefully into the next. The morning continues, and as you quietly walk through the village, you begin to notice something beyond the homes, fields, and river. Not everyone lives the same life. Some people carry heavy baskets filled with grain. Others carefully write symbols onto smooth sheets of papyrus. A few wear simple linen clothing, while others are dressed in fine white garments that appear much softer and cleaner. Without anyone saying a single word, it becomes clear that every person has a place within this society. In ancient Egypt, your role in life was often decided long before you were old enough to understand it. Most children grew up learning the same work their parents had done for many years. If your father was a farmer, you would likely become one as well. If your family made pottery, wove baskets, or carved stone, those skills would slowly become part of your own daily life. Life followed traditions that changed very little from one generation to the next. At the very top of society stood the pharaoh. To the people of ancient Egypt, the pharaoh was not simply a king. He was believed to have been chosen by the gods to maintain harmony and order throughout the land. His decisions affected millions of lives, even though most ordinary villagers would never see him in person. Below the pharaoh served powerful officials, trusted advisors, military commanders, and high priests. These men helped manage the kingdom, collected taxes, organized large building projects, and oversaw the temples where daily religious ceremonies took place. Not far below them were the scribes. A scribe held one of the most respected occupations in Egypt. While most people worked with their hands, scribes worked with knowledge. They learned to read and write the beautiful hieroglyphic symbols that covered temple walls, monuments, and official records. Their work included recording harvests, writing government documents, measuring taxes, and preserving stories for future generations. Because literacy was rare, becoming a scribe offered opportunities that many could only dream about. Most people, however, belonged to a different part of society. They were farmers, fishermen, craftsmen, builders, merchants, and laborers. These ordinary men and women formed the heart of ancient Egypt. They built homes from mud brick. They harvested grain beneath the burning sun. They raised children. They cared for animals. They repaired fishing boats. And they produced nearly everything needed for daily life. Without their hard work, the magnificent temples and towering pyramids would never have existed. At the very bottom of society lived servants and enslaved people. Their lives were often the most difficult. Many performed exhausting physical labor with little comfort and few choices of their own. Yet even among ordinary families, life demanded constant effort. Every day required strength, patience, and cooperation. As you continue your walk through the village, something becomes clear. Although people lived very different lives, each role depended upon the others. The farmer depended on the potter for storage jars. The potter depended on the farmer for grain. The fisherman depended on the boat builder. The temple depended on donations from the people. Like the flowing waters of the Nile, every part of Egyptian society was connected. No one truly lived alone. And while some enjoyed wealth and comfort, most people spent their lives working from sunrise until sunset, hoping each new season would bring enough food, health, and peace for their families. Perhaps that is one of the greatest lessons ancient Egypt quietly offers us. A civilization is not built only by rulers or monuments. It is built by countless ordinary people whose names history rarely remembers, but whose work shaped the world for thousands of years. The sun has now risen fully above the horizon, casting its warm golden light across the quiet village. The coolness of dawn slowly fades, replaced by the gentle warmth that will soon grow into the familiar heat of an Egyptian afternoon. For a moment, close your eyes. Instead of looking at the village, simply listen. Ancient Egypt is a place filled with soft, natural sounds. There are no engines, no ringing telephones, no traffic moving through crowded streets. The rhythm of life is created entirely by people, animals, and nature. From the nearby reeds, small birds greet the morning with cheerful songs. Their voices echo gently across the calm surface of the Nile, blending with the quiet splash of fish breaking the water for only a brief second before disappearing beneath the surface once again. A fisherman unties the rope securing his small wooden boat. The boat rocks gently against the riverbank as he pushes it into the slow-moving current. His wooden oar slips quietly through the water, creating soft ripples that spread across the river like circles of polished glass. Not far away, women gather near the river's edge. They fill heavy clay jars with fresh water, balancing them carefully upon their heads before beginning the slow walk back to their homes. As they walk together, they speak softly with neighbors, exchanging stories, laughter, and news from nearby villages. Children run through narrow pathways between the mud brick houses. Some chase one another while others carry tiny bundles of firewood, eager to help their families before the day grows too hot. Their laughter fills the morning air, light and carefree, reminding everyone that even in a world of hard work, moments of joy still exist. Nearby, a donkey lets out a loud bray, patiently waiting as its owner secures woven baskets filled with vegetables and grain. Goats wander freely between the homes, searching for leaves and scraps of food. A flock of ducks waddles toward the river, their gentle quacking adding another peaceful layer to the morning chorus. In the distance, you hear the steady tapping of craftsmen beginning their work. A carpenter shapes wood using simple bronze tools. A potter carefully spins wet clay beneath steady hands, forming jars that will soon carry water, grain, and cooking oil. A stone mason strikes limestone with slow, measured blows, each sound echoing faintly through the village before fading into the warm morning air. From a nearby home comes the comforting aroma of freshly baked bread. The crackling of a small cooking fire mixes with the quiet sound of grain being ground between heavy stone mills. Simple meals are being prepared before families leave for another long day in the fields. Above everything else flows the constant sound of the Nile itself. Its waters move steadily, never rushing, never stopping. For generations beyond counting, this same peaceful river has carried boats, nourished crops, and reflected the changing colors of the Egyptian sky. It asks for nothing, yet it gives life to everything around it. As you stand quietly among the villagers, listening instead of speaking, you begin to notice something remarkable. No single sound dominates the morning. Instead, every voice, every bird, every footstep, every gentle splash of water joins together like a calm and timeless melody. It is a rhythm repeated day after day, year after year, century after century. To the people of ancient Egypt, these sounds are ordinary. They have heard them since childhood. But to you, they tell the story of a civilization living in harmony with the river that sustains it. And as the morning continues to unfold, the peaceful music of this ancient village quietly follows you wherever you go, inviting you to slow your thoughts, breathe deeply, and simply listen. As you continue your gentle walk through the village, your eyes begin to notice the countless little details that make this ancient world feel both beautiful and unfamiliar. Nothing here appears rushed. There are no crowded streets, no loud marketplaces filled with endless noise. Life moves at the steady pace of the rising sun. The homes are small, built from mud mixed with straw and dried beneath the hot Egyptian sky. Their flat roofs provide a cool place to rest during the evening, while thick walls help keep the heat outside during the hottest hours of the day. The narrow paths between the houses are covered with fine dust that softly rises beneath every footstep. You notice that nearly everyone wears light-colored linen clothing. The fabric is simple, loose, and comfortable, allowing air to move freely beneath the powerful desert sun. Many people walk barefoot across the warm earth. Others wear simple sandals woven from papyrus or leather. Jewelry is surprisingly common. Even ordinary villagers wear colorful beads, small bracelets, or protective amulets believed to bring health, good fortune, and the blessing of the gods. The faces around you appear calm, yet weathered. Years of working beneath the blazing Egyptian sun have left their marks. Strong hands tell stories of countless harvests. Gentle smiles reveal missing teeth, worn away by tiny grains of sand mixed into their daily bread. Children seem curious as they quietly glance in your direction before returning to their games. The scent of warm earth fills the air. Fresh bread bakes over open fires. Bundles of onions, garlic, dates, and herbs hang outside many homes, drying beneath the sunlight. Nearby, cats move silently through the village. Unlike many other ancient civilizations, these graceful animals are welcomed and protected. They keep homes free from rats and snakes, making them valued companions for nearly every family. The farther you walk, the more you realize that nothing here is wasted. Broken pottery becomes building material. Old baskets are repaired instead of replaced. Water is carried carefully because every drop matters. Food is shared with great care because nobody knows what the next season may bring. Everything has value. Every object has a purpose. Every day requires thoughtful effort. To someone from the modern world, this way of life may seem difficult. Yet for the people around you, it is simply normal. They do not dream of an easier life. They have learned to live in harmony with the world they know. And perhaps that quiet acceptance is one of the greatest strengths of ancient Egypt. As the morning slowly continues, you begin to notice another side of ancient Egypt. The peaceful beauty of sunrise does not last forever. The sun climbs steadily higher into the brilliant blue sky. Its gentle warmth slowly transforms into powerful heat. Shadows grow shorter. The cool breeze that welcomed the morning begins to disappear. Soon, the desert reminds everyone that comfort is only temporary. The dry air quickly pulls moisture from your skin. Sweat forms across your forehead before quietly disappearing almost as quickly as it arrived. Every movement now requires a little more effort. Farmers wrap simple pieces of linen around their heads to protect themselves from the blazing sunlight. Others pause briefly beneath the shade of date palms before returning once again to their work. The earth beneath your feet feels hotter with every passing hour. A gentle breeze begins to blow across the nearby desert. At first it feels refreshing. Then tiny grains of sand lift into the air. The wind carries fine dust through the village streets. It settles upon clothing. It coats baskets. It gathers inside homes. Even freshly baked bread often contains tiny grains of sand carried by the endless desert winds. Over many years, this constant dust slowly wears down people's teeth, making eating painful for many older villagers. The desert is patient. It touches everything. Small insects now become more active beneath the growing warmth. Flies gather around food and animals. Mosquitoes appear near the quiet waters of the Nile, especially during the evening hours. Tiny biting insects buzz almost unnoticed until they land upon exposed skin. The villagers hardly react. They have lived beside these creatures their entire lives. You, however, quickly begin to understand how exhausting such small annoyances can become when they never truly disappear. Beyond the village, larger dangers also exist. Scorpions hide beneath cool stones. Venomous snakes rest silently among tall grasses or inside abandoned burrows. Most people know exactly where to step and what places should be avoided. For a newcomer, every unfamiliar path carries uncertainty. Yet despite the relentless heat, the drifting dust, and the countless insects, life never stops. Children continue playing. Fishermen continue rowing. Farmers continue planting. The rhythm of the Nile is stronger than discomfort. As you wipe another layer of fine dust from your hands, you quietly realize that surviving ancient Egypt required far more than courage. It demanded patience, every single day. And with every step beneath the blazing Egyptian sun, that lesson becomes clearer than ever. The morning is still young. The sun has not yet reached its highest point, and most families have not even finished their first simple meal of the day. Yet already, you begin to understand why surviving in ancient Egypt was never easy. For the people around you, every new sunrise brings another list of responsibilities. Before breakfast, the animals must be fed. Water must be collected from the Nile before the riverbanks become crowded. Cooking fires must be lit while the morning air is still cool. Grain must be ground into flour using heavy stone mills, a slow and tiring task that often takes hours. Children are given small chores, carrying baskets, gathering reeds, or helping care for younger brothers and sisters. No one remains idle for very long. Even the youngest members of the household learn that every helping hand matters. You watch as a family prepares for the day ahead. The father checks his farming tools, making sure the wooden handles are still secure. The mother kneads dough for fresh bread while keeping a careful eye on the fire. An older daughter fills clay jars with water. A young boy gently leads a donkey toward the fields. Without speaking, each person knows exactly what must be done. Their daily routine has been repeated so many times that it feels as natural as breathing. Breakfast itself is modest. There are no grand feasts waiting on the table. Most ordinary families eat coarse bread made from barley or emmer wheat. Some enjoy onions, dates, figs, or a handful of beans. If they are fortunate, there may also be a little cheese or dried fish from the Nile. Instead of water, many drink a light barley beer, safer than untreated river water and a common part of everyday life. It is a simple meal, but it provides the strength needed for long hours of labor beneath the Egyptian sun. As you look around, another quiet truth becomes clear. No one knows exactly what the coming months will bring. Will the Nile flood as expected? Will the crops grow well? Will illness visit the family? Will the harvest be enough to survive another year? These questions remain unanswered. Yet the people do not allow uncertainty to stop them. Instead, they continue working with quiet determination, trusting in experience, community, and the rhythms of nature. This is perhaps the greatest lesson of ancient Egypt. Survival is not achieved through a single heroic act. It is built through countless small actions repeated every single day. One loaf of bread, one bucket of water, one carefully planted seed, one repaired roof, one shared meal. These ordinary moments, almost invisible to history, are what keep an entire civilization alive. As you stand beside the peaceful waters of the Nile, watching another morning unfold, you realize that surviving ancient Egypt begins long before the day's hardest work. It begins with waking before sunrise. It begins with preparation. It begins with patience. And above all, it begins with respect for the river, for the land, and for the fragile balance that sustains every living thing. The golden light now spreads across the fields, the village hums with quiet purpose, and your first morning in ancient Egypt gently comes to an end. But your journey has only just begun. In the next chapter, we will step inside an ordinary Egyptian home and discover what daily life was truly like, from the first moments after waking until the peaceful silence of another desert night. Take one slow breath. Listen to the gentle flow of the Nile. And let the ancient world carry you softly into the next chapter. The village still sleeps beneath a sky scattered with countless stars. Night has not completely disappeared. The air is cool, carrying the fresh scent of the Nile mixed with the earthy fragrance of damp reeds and fertile soil. For a few peaceful moments, everything is quiet. No voices drift through the narrow streets. No tools strike against stone. Only the gentle chirping of insects and the distant call of a night bird break the silence. Then, slowly, life begins again. A small flame flickers inside a nearby mud brick home. Someone has awakened long before sunrise. In ancient Egypt, The day often begins before the first light appears on the horizon. There are no alarm clocks, no ringing bells. People wake because generations of experience have taught them that the coolest hours of the day are the most valuable. Every minute before the desert heat arrives is precious. Inside the home, a family quietly rises from simple reed mats spread across the floor. Blankets woven from linen are carefully folded and placed against the wall. The room is modest. Its thick mud brick walls keep the night's cool air inside, offering brief comfort before another hot day begins. A mother quietly stirs glowing embers left from the previous evening. With careful hands, she adds dry reeds and small pieces of wood until a soft fire begins to glow. The faint crackling fills the room with warmth. Nearby, the father stretches tired muscles that have known years of labor beneath the Egyptian sun. His hands are rough, marked by countless harvests and endless work. Without speaking, he prepares for another day in the fields. The children wake more slowly. Some rub the sleep from their eyes. Others quietly help fold bedding or gather empty clay jars that will soon be carried to the Nile. Even the youngest members of the family understand that everyone has responsibilities. Outside, the eastern horizon begins to brighten ever so slightly. The stars slowly fade one by one. Birds hidden among the reeds greet the coming dawn with gentle songs. A cool breeze moves softly across the village, carrying with it the promise of another busy day. Soon, neighbors emerge from their homes. They exchange warm smiles and quiet greetings before setting off toward their daily work. There is no rush, no panic, only a peaceful rhythm repeated every morning for generations beyond memory. As you stand quietly among them, watching the first light touch the tops of the distant palm trees, you realize that this simple beginning is the foundation of life in ancient Egypt. Before great temples, before mighty pyramids, before magnificent monuments, there was simply another family waking before dawn, preparing to do what they had always done. And in many ways, it is these quiet mornings, not the grand achievements, that truly tell the story of ancient Egypt. With the first rays of sunlight gently entering the doorway, the family's attention turns toward their home. Although simple by modern standards, every house requires daily care. Nothing is left until tomorrow. The place where the family slept only moments ago is quickly transformed into a living space for the day. The woven reed mats are rolled carefully and stored neatly against the wall. Linen blankets are folded with care, protected from dust that constantly drifts in from the surrounding desert. The floor, made from packed earth, is swept using handmade palm fiber brooms. Fine sand has gathered overnight in every corner. This daily cleaning is not about perfection. It is about comfort, health, and keeping the home pleasant despite the ever-present desert. The walls themselves are built from sun-dried mud bricks, formed by mixing Nile mud with straw before leaving them to harden beneath the blazing Egyptian sun. These bricks are surprisingly strong. They keep the house cool during the hottest part of the afternoon and warm enough during the cooler desert nights. The flat roof serves many purposes. During warm evenings, family members often climb to the roof to enjoy fresh air before sleeping. Food can also be dried there beneath the powerful sunlight. Sometimes vegetables, herbs, or fish are placed carefully on woven mats, preserved naturally by the dry Egyptian climate. Inside the home, furniture is limited. A few wooden stools, simple storage chests, clay jars filled with grain, water, cooking oil, or dried food. Everything has its place. Nothing is unnecessary. The kitchen is little more than a small corner containing a clay oven and several handmade pottery bowls. Yet from this modest space comes fresh bread, warm meals, and the comforting smells that bring families together each morning and evening. Outside, another family is already repairing a cracked section of their wall. Mud brick homes require constant maintenance. Strong winds, occasional rain, and the intense summer heat slowly wear away the outer surface. Fresh mud is carefully applied by hand, smoothing the walls once again. These repairs are simply another ordinary part of daily life. As you continue observing the village, one thing becomes beautifully clear. These homes were never built to impress strangers. They were built to protect families, to provide shade, to offer rest after long hours in the fields, to shelter children as they grew into adulthood. They are humble homes, but they are filled with purpose. Perhaps that is why they have endured in history, not because they were grand, but because they quietly supported millions of ordinary lives across countless generations. As sunlight now fills the narrow streets, the village is fully awake. Homes have been cleaned. Fires are burning. Families are ready. Another day in ancient Egypt has officially begun. As the village becomes fully awake, one of the most important tasks of the morning begins. Before fields can be watered, before meals can be prepared, before animals can be cared for, there must be water. Today, as in every day before, the people of ancient Egypt make their way toward the Nile. The river is not just a beautiful part of the landscape. It is the source of nearly everything. Without it, there would be no crops, no villages, and no civilization. You walk along a narrow path leading down toward the riverbank. The morning air is still pleasant, and the soft sounds of village life follow you. Women carry large clay jars balanced carefully on their shoulders or heads. Children walk beside them, carrying smaller containers and learning the responsibility they will one day take on themselves. The journey is familiar. For many families, this path has been walked thousands of times by countless generations. At the riverbank, people carefully lower their containers into the flowing water. The Nile moves slowly and calmly, reflecting the brightening sky above. The water is cool against their hands. For a moment, the hard work of daily life feels peaceful. But collecting water is not an easy task. Clay jars can be heavy when filled. A single journey may require walking back and forth several times throughout the day. The closer a family lives to the river, the easier their life becomes. Those living farther away must spend much more time carrying this precious resource. Water is needed for everything: cooking, cleaning, drinking, caring for animals, growing crops, making bricks. Even producing certain crafts depends on access to water. Every drop has value. The villagers understand something that modern people often forget. Water is never simply something that appears when you need it. It requires effort. It requires planning. It requires respect. As you watch families return from the river, carefully protecting their precious jars from breaking, you notice the quiet cooperation between neighbors. Someone helps an elderly person carry a heavier container. A child holds a parent's hand while walking across the uneven ground. People share the same river, the same challenges, and the same hopes. The Nile connects them all. Yet the river also carries dangers. Crocodiles sometimes hide beneath the surface. Strong currents can be unpredictable. The people approach the water carefully, with generations of knowledge guiding their actions. They understand the river's moods. They know where to step. They know when to be cautious. For them, the Nile is both a friend and a force that must be respected. As the sun rises higher, the villagers slowly leave the riverbank. The jars are full. The day's first essential task is complete. And with every step back toward their homes, they carry not just water, but the life of ancient Egypt itself. After returning from the Nile, another important part of the morning begins: food preparation. In ancient Egypt, meals are not created quickly. There are no modern kitchens, no machines, no instant food. Everything begins with careful preparation and patient work. Inside a small mud brick home, a family gathers around their simple cooking area. A clay oven has been warmed by burning dried plants and pieces of wood. The smell of smoke gently fills the room. Nearby sits one of the most important foods in Egyptian life: bread. For thousands of years, bread has been the foundation of the Egyptian diet. It provides energy for farmers, builders, craftsmen, and everyone who spends long hours working beneath the sun. But making bread requires time. First, grains such as emmer wheat or barley must be prepared. The grains are placed between heavy stones and slowly crushed into flour. This task is often performed by women and requires strength and patience. The repeated movement of grinding stones becomes one of the familiar sounds of Egyptian homes. Once the flour is ready, water from the Nile is mixed with it to create dough. The dough is shaped by hand and placed into the hot clay oven. Soon, the smell of fresh bread spreads through the village. For many families, this simple food represents security. A full supply of grain means survival. An empty storage room means fear. Alongside bread, families may prepare onions, dates, figs, beans, vegetables, and sometimes fish caught from the Nile. The wealthy may enjoy more variety. They might have meat, honey, and expensive spices. But for ordinary families, simple foods provide the strength needed to continue another difficult day. One common drink is a type of barley beer. Unlike the stronger drinks of today, ancient Egyptian beer was often thick, nutritious, and consumed by many people as part of everyday life. It provided calories and was often safer than drinking untreated water. Children, workers, and adults all had their own versions. As the family eats together, you notice something important. Meals are not only about hunger. They are moments of connection. Families share stories. Parents teach children. Neighbors exchange news. Even during difficult times, food brings people together. But there is always a quiet awareness. The next harvest is never guaranteed. A poor flood, a disease, a period of drought. Any of these could threaten the food supply. This is why ancient Egyptians valued grains so deeply. It was not just food. It was life stored for the future. As the family finishes their morning meal, the day ahead waits. The bread has provided energy. The water has been collected. The home is prepared. Now, the people of the village step outside once again, ready to face the endless work that keeps their world alive. After the morning meal is finished, the peaceful moments inside the home slowly come to an end. The village outside is now fully awake. The sounds of footsteps, animals, and working hands fill the narrow pathways between the mud brick houses. Another day has begun. For an ancient Egyptian family, survival is never the responsibility of only one person. Every member of the household has a role. Every person contributes. From the youngest child to the oldest grandparent, everyone understands that the family depends on cooperation. The father prepares for his daily work. If he is a farmer, he checks his tools before heading toward the fields. A broken wooden handle or damaged farming tool could mean slower work and a smaller harvest. If he is a fisherman, he carefully examines his nets and boat before entering the Nile. If he is a craftsman, he gathers the materials needed for another day of creating pottery, jewelry, furniture, or tools. The mother manages many responsibilities inside the home. She prepares food, cares for children, creates clothing, and helps preserve supplies for the future. Spinning flax into linen thread and producing fabric requires patience and skill. The soft white linen worn by Egyptians begins with countless hours of careful work. Children also learn responsibility from an early age. A young child may collect small pieces of wood for cooking fires. Older children help carry water, feed animals, clean the home, or assist parents in the fields. Childhood exists, but it is mixed with preparation for adult life. There is little separation between learning and working. Every task teaches an important skill. Grandparents also hold an important place within the family. Their experience is valuable. They remember previous floods. They know old farming methods. They tell stories about ancestors and traditions passed down through generations. In a world without books for most people, knowledge lives through human voices. Through parents. Through elders. Through family conversations. The home is not just a place to sleep. It is a place where survival skills are taught. Where traditions continue. Where children learn what it means to belong to a community. As you watch the family move through their morning routine, you begin to understand something. Ancient Egyptian society was built not only on monuments and rulers. It was built on millions of small families waking up every day and doing their part. Their names may have disappeared from history, but their efforts created the foundation of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known. As the family leaves the home and moves into the village, another important part of daily life becomes visible. Animals. In ancient Egypt, animals are not simply possessions. They are essential partners in survival. A family's animals provide food, transportation, farming assistance, and materials needed for everyday life. Near the edge of the village, you see farmers preparing their livestock for the day. Cattle stand calmly beside wooden fences. Their strength will soon be needed in the fields, where they help pull heavy plows through the fertile soil. Without these animals, farming would require even more exhausting human labor. Donkeys are also everywhere. They carry baskets of grain, vegetables, tools, and building materials. Their patience makes them one of the most valuable animals in Egyptian villages. A single donkey can transform a difficult journey into a manageable one. Goats and sheep move between homes, searching for grass and small plants. They provide milk, meat, and wool. Families carefully care for them because losing an animal can mean losing an important source of survival. Birds are also common. Chickens and ducks provide eggs and food. Along the Nile, fishermen depend on the river's natural abundance. Fish become a major part of many people's diets. But animals also bring challenges. They require feeding. They require protection. They require constant attention. A sick animal can create serious problems for a family. Farmers must understand animal behavior and recognize signs of illness. They must protect livestock from predators and harsh weather. Even the smallest creatures have a place in this world. Cats move quietly through homes and storage areas. They protect grain supplies by controlling rats and mice. Because of their usefulness and connection to religious beliefs, cats become highly respected animals throughout Egyptian history. As you watch the villagers caring for their animals, you realize that life here depends on relationships. Humans depend on animals. Animals depend on humans. Together, they create a balance that allows the community to survive. The village is not only made of houses and people. It is also made of fields, rivers, and creatures living alongside humanity. Every living thing has a purpose. Every creature plays a role in the great rhythm of ancient Egypt. As the day continues, you begin to notice something that separates ancient Egyptian villages from the lonely lives many people imagine. Community. No one truly survives alone. Every person depends on others. The village is connected by countless small acts of cooperation. A farmer may need a potter to create storage jars for grain. A builder may need a carpenter to create wooden tools. A fisherman may exchange his catch for bread or vegetables. A family repairing their home may receive help from neighbors. Life is built on relationships. The narrow streets between houses are not empty spaces. They are places where people meet. Children play together. Neighbors share conversations. Elders exchange memories. News travels from one household to another through simple human connection. There are no instant messages. No written announcements reaching everyone immediately. Instead, People rely on their voices. A conversation at the riverbank, a gathering near the marketplace, a message carried by a traveler. Information moves slowly, but it moves through people. During difficult times, community becomes even more important. If a family becomes sick, neighbors may bring food. If a flood damages a home, others may help rebuild it. If a harvest is successful, celebrations are shared. The happiness of one family becomes the happiness of the entire village. Religious festivals also bring people together. Music, food, dancing, and ceremonies create moments when daily struggles are forgotten. For a short time, everyone gathers to celebrate something greater than themselves. Standing among these villagers, you begin to understand a powerful truth. Ancient Egypt was not built only by powerful pharaohs. It was built by cooperation, by farmers helping farmers, by families supporting families, by ordinary people working together through thousands of ordinary days. The great pyramids, temples, and cities that still amaze the world today were possible because millions of unknown individuals lived, worked, and depended on one another. As the afternoon sun moves across the sky, the village continues its rhythm. People return to their tasks. Animals move through dusty paths. The Nile flows quietly beside them all. And the community continues, just as it has for generations. As the afternoon slowly approaches, you begin to notice something unusual about life in ancient Egypt. Nobody is checking a watch. Nobody is looking at a glowing screen. Nobody is counting the minutes until the end of the day. Time moves differently here. For modern people, time is often divided into exact numbers. Hours, minutes, seconds. But in ancient Egypt, daily life follows the natural movements of the world around you. The rising sun, the position of shadows, the changing seasons, the flooding of the Nile. Nature itself becomes the great clock that guides everyone. As the sun rises higher, people know that the morning hours are passing. When shadows become shorter, they understand that the hottest part of the day is approaching. When the sun begins its slow journey toward the western horizon, workers know it is time to prepare for evening. The people do not need complicated technology to understand the rhythm of their lives. They have learned to observe. Farmers especially depend on this understanding. The position of the sun tells them when to begin work and when to seek shade. The seasons tell them when to plant and when to harvest. The Nile tells them when the land will change. Every part of life is connected to these natural patterns. Ancient Egyptians also developed methods to measure time more precisely. They created simple devices such as shadow clocks and water clocks. A shadow clock used the movement of sunlight across marked surfaces to estimate the passing hours during the day. A water clock allowed people to measure time even after sunset by observing how quickly water flowed from one container into another. These inventions helped priests, officials, and astronomers organize important activities. But for most ordinary villagers, nature remained the most important guide. The farmer did not need to know the exact hour. He needed to know whether the sun was too high for safe work. The fisherman did not need a precise schedule. He needed to understand the river and the changing conditions. The family preparing dinner did not count minutes. They recognized the signs of evening, the lengthening shadows, the cooler air, the return of workers from the fields, the sounds of animals coming home. As you walk through the village, you realize that people here are not controlled by the clock. They are connected to the world around them. Their lives move slowly, patiently, naturally. Perhaps this is one reason ancient Egyptian civilization lasted for thousands of years. People understood the importance of waiting, of observing, of respecting the rhythm of nature. As the sun begins to lower in the sky, the village prepares for the final part of the day. Work continues for a little longer, but soon the heat will fade. the fields will become quiet, and families will return home. The afternoon sun now hangs high above the Egyptian landscape. The cool morning has disappeared. The peaceful village has transformed into a place of constant movement. Everywhere you look, people are working. This is the reality of everyday life in ancient Egypt. A beautiful civilization did not appear by accident. It was built through thousands of years of effort from ordinary people who worked from sunrise until sunset. In the fields, farmers continue their labor. The soil must be prepared. Crops must be protected. Animals must be guided. Every task requires patience and physical strength. The farmer's tools are simple: a wooden plow, a bronze blade, a basket for carrying grain. There are no machines to make the work easier. Every movement depends on human effort. Nearby, craftsmen continue their work. A potter shapes clay with careful hands, creating containers that families will use for years. A carpenter cuts and prepares wood for furniture, tools, and boats. A stone worker carefully shapes materials that will become part of Egypt's famous buildings. Each person has a skill developed through years of practice. The work may be difficult, but it also provides purpose. For many Egyptians, their occupation is more than a way to earn food. It is their contribution to the world around them. Even small tasks matter. A person making a simple clay jar helps store grain. A person repairing a fishing net helps feed families. A person carrying supplies helps support an entire community. Every action becomes part of something larger. As the day grows hotter, people must learn how to protect themselves. They wear light linen clothing. They rest briefly in the shade when possible. They drink water and other available drinks to maintain strength. They understand their limits because ignoring the heat can be dangerous. The desert does not forgive carelessness. Yet despite the challenges, there is also a quiet beauty in the routine. The sound of tools. The movement of people through familiar paths. The golden fields stretching beside the Nile. The knowledge that everyone is working toward the same goal. Survival. As evening approaches, the pace of work slowly begins to change. Tools are cleaned. Animals are returned. The last tasks of the day are completed. The village prepares to rest. But tomorrow, when the first light appears again, the same cycle will begin. Another sunrise. Another journey. Another day of effort beside the eternal Nile. And this endless rhythm is what shaped ancient Egypt. Not only the pharaohs, not only the monuments, but the countless ordinary people who woke each morning and chose to continue.